I'm convinced most people in modern society have simply forgot how to use their brains. And I know that sounds extreme. It sounds like I'm being a bit rude, but hear me out. Modern technology has dumbed us down so much to the point where we can't even solve those basic everyday problems that would ordinarily only take us 2 to 3 minutes to solve if we really thought about it. Think of calculators, think of GPS, think of search engines. All these things have essentially engineered all of the critical thinking out of our life. And there are many other problems that have happened downstream as a result of the advancements in technology. Things like the inability to communicate effectively, things like the inability to creatively problem solve, things like the inability to vividly imagine your ideal future. It's a bizarre thing, but I think these days many people are, in terms of creativity especially, are just rehashing the ideas that they hear from other people rather than digging deep into themselves, understanding, or at least trying to understand things from their own nuanced and unique perspective. Skills that make us human are essentially disappearing. And this is because we're dumbing ourselves down. We're not allowing our brains to operate at that high level that they're really capable of. I often imagine what my life would be like if I was a medieval farmer or craftsman. I wonder what my days would look like. I wonder how I would think about life itself and how my mental and physical health would be. Now, of course, I'm sure it'd be very tough, but satisfying and fulfilling as well. This is because the idea of needing to think critically and creatively problem solve in your everyday life, well, these are for things that are directly related to your survival. You needed to know, okay, well, I need food. I need fuel to keep warm. I need water. I need shelter. All these things that we don't need to worry about in today's day and age, especially if you're watching this video. And I'd like to imagine that having to think critically and creatively problem solve for things directly related to your survival was more fulfilling. And I think this is because you can see the direct results of your actions. For example, if you're chopping wood, that is fuel for your fire, fuel to stay warm, fuel to cook your food. If you're hunting animals, that's food for your family. If you're crafting tools, you're saving time and energy. If you are growing herbs, this is medicinal support for when you get sick. Water collection is for hydration. All these things that a farmer would do in past times, they were directly related to their survival. All of these actions required a different level of thinking, planning, and envisioning that so many people simply don't have today. Now look, we're probably living in the safest of times in documented history. Law enforcement, technology, and medicine allow for exactly this. But our minds are weak. You could say we've become docile even. And most people would rather put the blinders on and ignore all those problems within their life by indulging in these short-term pleasures rather than building their minds up, rather than trying to think critically and become more creative and more imaginative within their own life. And things are only going to get worse as technology continues to improve and social media becomes more immersive and the school system continues to decline because, the school system is declining. I will stand on that hill. I will die on that hill no matter what. Life itself will become easier on the surface, but internally, from a psychological and spiritual perspective, things are really going to get worse. It's only going to get even more difficult. I don't know if this is all happening by design. I don't know if this is just the byproduct of a world where things are getting easier externally, so they get more difficult internally. But what I know is this. There are a few things you must keep in mind. Number one, you should spend more time, you should voluntarily problem solve before searching outward for answers. So if you're facing a problem, even just a basic problem in your everyday life, rather than turning to AI or search engines, try to figure it out on your own, all right? Even if it's for 5 minutes, 10 minutes before you say, all right, you know what, I'm gonna go search up how to fix this problem. Just give yourself that time. What you're doing here is you're priming your brain for problem solving and critical thinking. And the more you do this, the more intelligent you become, the more easier it becomes to essentially face all those problems that reality throws at you. The second thing I want you to keep in mind is that self-education is necessary. Most people stop learning after they graduate, plain and simple, whether that's from high school or from college or graduate school. Once they've gotten their degrees and they're done, they stop learning. The amount of people I've met who just don't read and who don't learn new skills, to me, is just mind-boggling. And in today's day and age, I think competency and having high agency within your own life is one of the most important things that you can develop. And to me, that all starts with self-education. The third thing I want to leave you with is do your best to avoid immediate dopamine, because we're living in times when it's never been easier to just get that immediate gratification. It's never been easier to just shut your brain off and just indulge. But while that might feel good in the moment, I don't think that's a great medium to long-term way of living. I think downstream it'll create even more problems, as I've seen firsthand with my own life. So yeah, even if you can do these three things, problem solve, continue self-educating and avoiding quick dopamine, like 50% of the time, you're way ahead of the curve, because most people will never do these things. They will elect the quick and easy way out. So yeah, the bar has never been lower. It just takes a willingness to commit to developing your minds. It takes a willingness to be patient and a willingness to stay the course, because life is tough, I'm not gonna lie, but when you can make these shifts and implement them into your life every single day, life gets a whole lot more enjoyable. So anyways, yeah, these are my thoughts. Thank you for watching, and I'll speak to you soon.